What's up, everybody? Shane here. Super excited to be with you today for our next Flip Your Life live training. Our trainings are getting near the end. I think we actually have, let's see, I'm scrolling to the bottom of this massive. All right. So after today, we've got 2 more live trainings, and then we are going to start doing our icebreaker sessions later. That's going to be leading up to the event. We'll probably take a little break after I get done with that last training here in a couple weeks, and probably take a couple week break. Then in September, we're going to do, or probably the last week of August, first week of September, we're going to start with our icebreaker sessions. You know, you guys have been hanging out in this chat room now for the whole year, talking to each other, listening to each other's questions, listening to me ramble on about online business almost every single week. And we're going to really get to know each other in our icebreaker sessions so that when you walk into the room, you're going to know people, you're going to recognize people, you're going to see people. You know, I highly recommend going back into the Facebook group at this time of the year and start looking at people's pictures. Click on people who've posted, click on members in the welcome thread, and see if you can recognize those faces. You know, you want to be able to go into the room and be like, oh, hi, Lori. Oh, hi, how you doing, Elizabeth? You know, like, I recognize you, Kathy, right? So, you know, you want to make sure that you feel comfortable. That's one of the biggest things that Jocelyn and I try to do for every live event we attend is we want to make sure when we walk in the room, we're super comfortable because we've reached out to people, we've met people, we recognize people, we know people. And, you know, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do these live sessions. It wasn't just so I could walk you through the Flip Your Life blueprint. It was so that you could hang out with each other. Like, right, that's the most important thing, is being able to be together, being able to mastermind, being able to see that there's other people going through this. And I hope that you guys have done that in the chats as well. So as we got people rolling in, give me a quick confirmation that you can see and hear me and that I sound crystal clear. I need to check that too. Let me hit play up here, and we will see if what is going on is going on. All right, I can see and hear myself, so make sure that you guys can see and hear me, and we'll be on point and ready to rock. Okay, everybody's kind of logging in. It says 0 online, but that's not right because I see people talking. Let me hit refresh here. I want to make sure my chat room is actually fired up. Make sure nothing crashed. All right, there we go. Now we got people. All right, yes, see and hear. Dan says here, see and hear. And Dan, I sent you a message about looking over that thing. Just want to make sure you got that. And I got your email this morning, and I took care of it, dude. Let's see. Crystal says can see and hear you. Teresa says here. And Kathy says here. All right, good. That's enough. If you can't see and hear, it's on you. It's your fault. All right. So today what we're going to talk about is lead magnets. All right. Last week we talked a lot about your sales funnel. And, you know, what I really want to stress right now is one of the most important things in your sales funnel, if not the most important thing, is your lead magnet strategy. This is something that we see a lot of people get wrong. People don't really, I think, grasp or understand the concepts of a lead magnet and like what it's actually supposed to do. And you know, it's so critical because if you don't get your lead magnet strategy right, your sales funnel doesn't matter, your product doesn't matter, because you never take people from an audience member into a prospect, right? Like last week we talked about how you've got the big market, then you've got your audience that you create with your content, but you have to transition them from being a listener to being a participant. You've got to get them to opt in and give you the most important thing in the world, contact information, so that you can do what really matters, and that's follow up. Right? The riches are in the niches. Y'all ever heard anybody say that? Well, guess what? The fortune is in the follow-up. If you can't contact someone, if you can't reach out and start a two-way conversation, if you can't get people to talk to you, not just listen to you, you are never going to grow the business that you really want. Okay. And the lead magnet is a critical component of that because it's the bait. It's the thing that entices people to get off the sidelines and do something. Right? There's a lot of people that listen to the Flip Lifestyle podcast. All right. We've had millions of downloads, but what makes people move to the next level is the opt-in strategy. It's the lead magnet. It's being a passive listener to being an active engager with our content, to go out and say, hey, here's my email. Now tell me more stuff. That's them raising their hand and telling them, hey, I want more. Okay. And if you don't have that right, doesn't matter how good your product is. It really doesn't matter how good your content is. You have to be able to transition people into prospects, which later turn into leads. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to go through the lead magnet and I want to get deeper in it. And like some people are like, whenever I start talking about lead magnets, people are like, lead magnet. I got a lead magnet. It's in my sidebar. I got a lead magnet. Yeah, I made one. Made one time. Got a lead magnet. And people really miss how important that the lead magnet strategy is. And it's why people, whenever someone gets stuck and they're like, I have no clue why I'm not making sales. Or when our business, whenever me and Jocelyn are in a meeting and we're like, okay, we had sales plateau last month in X business. Why? We always look at our lead magnet first. We don't mess with our product. That's the first thing that people do. Well, my product's not good enough. I need to go add 70 more courses. I was coaching a guy yesterday. He had 179 courses. He sends me a message and he goes, yeah, I'm thinking about adding 30 more courses. And I'm like, bro, you don't need no more courses. You have 179 20-minute courses. Are you kidding me? And you're going to add 30 more courses? What you need to do is go write 30 blog posts with 30 individual lead magnets so that you can get more traffic into your funnels. That's what you really need. So this is the ultimate troubleshooting point in almost everything you do. If you've got content and people are listening, great. If you've got a product and sales are not where you want them to be, cool. It's probably because your opt-in strategy sucks. And you need to reevaluate your lead magnet and your opt-in strategy probably every 2 or 3 months, because what's working now won't work in the future. This is a constant, ever-changing, evolving thing. You can get a lot of legs out of your lead magnets. Don't get me wrong, right? They're breadcrumbs that you're leaving behind so that the customers, follow you back, right? But you want to make sure you're always adding new lead magnets. You're always changing things up, and you're always giving new reasons for your audience to opt in. Because if they don't, you don't make sales. No opt-in, no follow-up, no fortune, no sales. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this one first. Number one, I'm going to do I've got like 5 or 6 tips. Okay. And then what I want to talk about is 3 different kinds of opt-ins after that you need in your arsenal right away. These are the 3 things that you really, really need. Okay. So 5 tips plus 3 types of opt-in. Okay. All right. If you have questions about lead magnets or opt-ins, again, type them as we go. Type them as we go. Don't wait till the end. I'm going to see Lion King with my little girl here in about an hour. Okay. So I'm going to be out of here quick after I get done. I want to do Q&A. I want to get through my content, but my little girl wants to go see Lion King. So I got to go see Simba and I got to go watch Mufasa get thrown off a cliff. So we got to do that. Spoiler alert, if I just ruined Lion King for you, if you haven't seen it 25 years ago. But I'm only going to have about 10 to 15 minutes probably for questions. So you need to type them in right now. All right. Number 1. Okay. Number 1. All right. You need more than one lead magnet. You need more than one lead magnet. Tattoo that on your head so that you see it every time you look in the mirror. But you need more than one lead magnet. I'm gonna follow this up with the back part of the tip. The lead magnet itself doesn't matter. Okay. So what we want to do in our strategy is we want more than one lead magnet. You've got one segment, you've got one avatar, you've got one audience, but they're going to be interested in different things. I always go back to when I was a football coach and I was selling my football playbooks. There's a lot of different kinds of football coaches. There's offensive coaches, coordinators, there's defensive coordinators, there's the quarterback coach, there's the linebacker coach, there's the defensive back coach, there's the defensive line coach, there's the offensive line coach. There's a lot of different things. If I only had one lead magnet that was a real general kind of anybody in my niche lead magnet, it wouldn't entice people enough to opt in. We wouldn't have a lot of opt-ins in our strategy. We would only be like, hey, here's my football coach manual. I don't want that. I'm an offensive line coach. I'm a quarterback coach. I don't want this big general thing, right? Some people will want it. Maybe there's 10, 20% of my audience that actually wants that general lead magnet. But if you're a linebacker coach, right, you want opt-ins about linebackers. You want 5 linebacker drills to guarantee you win more games this season. That's what you want. So I had to create specific lead magnets. Now, my specific business for football coaches was defense. It was all about defense. I had a very specific defensive playbook that I sold to people. All right. So I didn't care how many points you scored. I cared about stopping the other team from scoring. So I had multiple lead magnets geared toward only defensive coaches. I had a playbook. That was my number 1 lead magnet. So if the defensive coordinator came up, he would want that. I had linebacker drills, top 5 linebacker drills, right? So if the linebacker coach wanted something, he could get something specific. If I had defensive back drills, so the defensive back coach, he only coaches defensive backs. Why does he care about linebacker drills? He doesn't. And I had defensive line drills. So I had 4 lead magnets specifically designed for my audience, not the segments of my audience. If I had only had the playbook, then guess what? Only 1 in 4 of those coaches would care because they're the guys that run the playbook. The linebacker coach usually doesn't care about the playbook. He cares about the drills for his linebackers. So the DB coach, same. The D-line coach, the same. So I had to have multiple lead magnets for them, okay? Now, it didn't actually matter what was in the lead magnet. It could have been a one-page checklist. It didn't matter. The goal of your lead magnet is to get their email address, period. Contact information. That's it, okay? So the subject line and the presentation, the ad for your lead magnet on your homepage is way more important than what they actually download. A lot of people get stuck. Well, I've got to make all these lead magnets and I got to design them and I got to do this. No, you could make 4 lead magnets right now. Write down 4 segments of your avatars list, right? Like it could be as simple as, like for us, like it could be, well, we want people who have kids. And we have people who have kids in our audience from 28 to 35, from 35 to 40, from 40 to 45, and 45 to 50. Let's cut up and make a lead magnet for each of those age groups. Done. That's it. 4 lead magnets. 1 page, front cover. I don't care what they actually download, right? From a marketer standpoint. All I care about is that my headline is good enough to grab their attention and they download something. And now I've got their email and I'm going to follow up. The lead magnet doesn't have to be magic. It doesn't have to be sorcery. It doesn't have to be the biggest result they could ever get in their life. Usually it's something they can read and smile about. If I can look at a lead magnet, I'm like, oh, it's pretty cool. I'm done with it. It doesn't matter. I'm happy. I've got a good first impression. It doesn't have to actually do anything. People want to give away 47-page lead magnet ebooks. No. People want to give away 50-minute videos. Not always. You can do it sometimes. But like what you really want to make sure is they opt in. I don't care what they do with it afterwards. Like 99% of people probably won't take action on your lead magnet. They're just going to download it and put it in their little collection of stuff on their computer, right? So the number one thing you got to do is have more than 1 lead magnet reaching different segments of your list, and it doesn't matter what they are. Just make sure you're getting more emails, okay? So number 1, have multiple lead magnets. I'm going to give you some examples here in a few minutes. And it doesn't matter what they are. The opt-in doesn't matter. You could create all these in a day. I don't care if it's you get to email me, like whatever it is, like it's got to be done quick. Okay. Now, the next tip for lead magnets, if I can read my handwriting here, is make sure you have follow-up set up before you offer a lead magnet, right? Working backwards, you have to have follow-ups ready to go as soon as people opt in. If you get an email lead magnet, if you get a lead magnet, if someone opts in for your thing and you don't send them any more emails after the first one to deliver it, they're going to become old. They're going to become stale. Their inbox is going to learn that they don't care about you. You never emailed them and they're not going to have it. So we recommend that for every lead magnet needs to go into an email sequence with at least 7 emails. Okay. That's why we have a course inside of the Flip Your Life community called Your First 7 Emails, right? You need at least 7 emails. You can spread them apart. You can do them all at once. Depends on your goal. You can have a long-term nurture sequence where they're 1 week apart, but you need to have a consistent email flow going to that person after they opt in. Now, I have a 7 email sequence, and as soon as they get out of that, they go into our general autoresponder list. We call it it's our entire list is what it is. And what I do is I actually email segments of our list every day. So like I might email the whole list one day. I might email a segment of the list on Tuesday. I might email another part. So I am constantly in communication with our email list personally in real time, relevant, because I really like to do that. Right now, I will batch things at times. Like Joss and I are going to San Diego on Thursday for an event this week, and I will batch emails for the next little bit. So I won't actually do it in real time every day. I might batch them, but I'm sending something to our list all the time. Okay. So make sure that you have follow-ups ready to go for your lead magnet. Now, this scares people because they're like, well, dang it, you just told me I need 4 lead magnets. Am I going to have to write 7 emails for every single lead magnet? That's 28 emails. Well, what if I have 10 lead magnets? What if I have 20? No, you can have a nice general indoctrination sequence that's very general, and all of your lead magnets can like deliver the lead magnet specifically and then tie into that one funnel. You can write 1 7 email sequence and all of your lead magnets go to that. That's what we do. I have probably 50 opt-ins in my big giant Infusionsoft campaign that handles all of our opt-ins, right? They all go into one sequence. Everybody pretty much gets the first 7 days, right? Then you come off that and you come into my sequence, right? But I am following up. So it's really easy. If we go on a podcast, I make a new opt-in, I put in an opt-in box, we tie it into that same campaign, it's done. Okay. It takes like 20 minutes for us to set up a new opt-in if we want to. And once you start bulking up your content, you'll find that like one lead magnet you create will work for 20 different posts or 20 different, opportunities. So you're not making a brand new thing for every time. They're more like categories, like your lead magnets in a category, but you do want to make sure that you're following up after that. Okay. All right. Next, the action that your person takes next is what matters with your lead magnet once they download it. Okay. It's not about them using your lead magnet. This is so counterintuitive. So, I'm not explaining this very well. What matters most is what they do next, not what they do with your lead magnet. All right. So you want to make sure that whatever you ask them to do after they've been delivered your lead magnet, they've had your lead magnet in their hand, you want to make sure that they take action next. So what we do is, if you get a lead magnet from us on the page where we deliver that lead magnet to you, we always pitch the community, right? I don't care if you use my lead magnet. I think people get too caught up with that. Like, the lead magnet is just in the moment to get them to think about their next step. And I actually designed my lead magnets and my opt-ins to say, hey, I want them to look at this, realize the next step is to join my community. That's what I care about. So if I give you a checklist for your avatar, I want you to go make a product. So, hey, the next step is to take this product course. So I will actually pitch my membership immediately. I'm much more concerned that someone buys my product on the thank you page of their opt-in than I am that they use my lead magnet. That's really not important. If you're worried about them using your lead magnet so much, you've probably created a lead magnet that's too big, too in-depth. It's like way too complicated. You know what I mean? Like, you need something where they can take action on it, or they can look at it and be like, no, I don't need this. I need the next step. And then you sell the next step on the delivery page for your lead magnet. All right. So stop focusing so much on, oh, I hope they read my 47-page ebook, right? Start focusing on, hey, wait a minute. They opted in. I sent them an email. They went to the thank you page to get it, to deliver it, to download it. And right there is a sales pitch for my next thing. It can be your tripwire. It can be your core offer. It doesn't matter. But focus more on what they do after they opt in than spending so much time worrying about creating the lead magnet. And I know that, like, a lot of people talk about getting results and this, that, and the other with their lead magnet, but we have found that people don't really care about the lead magnet. The lead magnet is the piece of bourbon chicken on the toothpick in front of the Chinese or Japanese place in the mall, right? They got someone standing out there, and like, they're holding this plate full of bourbon chicken with the pin in it. Y'all have seen that before, right? You've been to the mall, and they're like, you want to try this? And I'm like, sometimes you don't even try it. You're just like, that looks great. I'm going to go buy bourbon chicken. And you just walk right by them, right? I always get the sample because I'm, I want that extra piece of bourbon chicken. You know what I mean? But most of the time you just walk right by them and you go buy the stuff. You know what I'm saying? So don't worry. That's the lead magnet. Don't worry. What if the restaurant owner had spent their entire day making the perfect presentation on the dude holding the plate of toothpick chicken, right? That's not what you spend your time on. You spend your time filling the vats of bourbon chicken to sell all the bourbon chicken because somebody saw it, smelled it, maybe tasted it, and walked past it to get the real dinner. You're selling the real dinner, y'all. Quit selling the appetizer. Y'all are spending way too much time on the appetizer and not enough time on the bourbon chicken. Okay. All right. So number one, the opt-in really doesn't matter, and you need multiple of them, right? You need multiple lead magnets. Number two, the action next matters most. Number three, you got to have your follow-ups ready. All right. Number four, start selling immediately after they opt in. Okay. When you send the email to them that says, hey, here's that thing you wanted, click here, take them to your page, take them to your website. Don't send them the file in the thing. Make them come to your website where you have sales copy. Okay. In the PS of the email that you send to them to deliver your lead magnets, say, did you know we have a product that does this? Click here and you can check it out. Walk past the toothpick bourbon chicken. Come over here to the real dinner. Hey, here's your lead magnet. But look down here. I got this cool thing, and you need to get in on this, right? Use your PS in the very first sell in the first email. What if that's the only email that they ever open from you and you didn't sell them anything? They just archived it. Oh, I'll check that out later. PS. Ooh, something cool. Like sell something immediately on that very first email, on that very first page. Sell, relentlessly sell. We always say be consistent with your content, be prolific with your promotions, and be relentless with your sales. You need to sell people stuff immediately as soon as they opt in. Okay. Big mistake I see people make. They make a lead magnet. They send them the lead magnet and it says, hey, don't worry, I'll email you later. No, like you've got them. They looked in the window. They peeked in the door. They're there. They're ready to be sold something. Like if you imagine if you got 100 opt-ins, and what if every 100 opt-ins, only 2 people took your $100 offer, right? Maybe it's 2% took that PS. But like, then what if you go get 1,000 emails? Like you just sold like $100. You just made $1,000 extra only because you put that PS in there, right? So don't be afraid to sell immediately. Make sure that you're selling something. All right. Number 5, be content specific. Okay. You need to have opt-ins that relate to your content, right? If I had an opt-in, let's go back to my football coaching example. Or no, I got a better example. Like let's say on ushistoryteachers.com. All right. So that's my website where I sell history lesson plans. Like let's say that I had a really broad general opt-in about teaching, right? That would be okay. That'd be okay. But like, what if I put something in, what if I put something about math up there? What if I had a math website too? And I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stick my math opt-in on my history website. And when they go look up Abraham Lincoln worksheets, they may teach math too. So just maybe they'll go click on this. No, it has no relevance. It has nothing to do with it. If I have an article about Abraham Lincoln on my website, you best believe I'm going to have an Abraham Lincoln crossword puzzle as an opt-in, and then I'm going to sell them an Abraham Lincoln unit when they get into the sales page. So you want to be really, really, really super content specific with all of your opt-ins. That does not mean that you need to make a new opt-in for every single thing. Like I said, there can be categories. Abraham Lincoln was a president of the United States. Maybe I have a lesson plan or an opt-in about the presidents, right? It's a lesson about the presidents. I could use that opt-in with Abraham Lincoln. That counts. Maybe I've got a Civil War opt-in, right? Abraham Lincoln was president in the Civil War. So I could use that one opt-in for every single post about the Civil War, right? Doesn't matter. So like you can use categorical lead magnets multiple times, but you need to be as specific as possible. They need to be related. Like if I have a post, this is something we struggle with on Flip Lifestyle. We have like say we do a podcast and it's about sales funnels. Like we help somebody with a sales funnel. So the title of the podcast might be how entrepreneurs can make sales funnels for their business or whatever. So someone finds that in search and they get there, right? So I know this is probably a person, if they're interested really hardcore in sales funnels, they're probably already got their product created. They at least have their idea for their business and they know what they're doing. They've probably signed up for ClickFunnels or Kajabi, and they're really just trying to learn more about how to create a good, solid sales funnel, okay? Now, what if my only lead magnet is about how to come up with your idea for your online business? Problem, right? I can help this person. We have tons of training inside the Flip Your Life community about sales funnels. But if then they see the opt-in, they're like, oh, this was a great podcast about sales funnels. I'd love to learn more, but I'm not going to opt in. I already have my business idea, right? No, I need an opt-in on that page that's specific to sales funnels. That's why we have that little sales funnel diagram that I gave you last week. We try to use that in any post that we create about sales funnels because it's categorical. It would cover any part of the sales funnel, whether it's email autoresponders, all the way down to lead magnets, to unexpected bonuses, whatever it is. But I need to make sure that that is attached to anything about sales funnels, not how to come up with your idea. If I present a lead magnet, I may have a great audience member who is a prospect to give me money. But if I present them the wrong lead magnet, they stay in the audience camp and they never come over here to the prospect or the lead camp, right? So you got to make sure that you're creating content specific lead magnets for all that you do. Okay. All right. So there's my 5 tips about lead magnets. Now I'm going to give you some examples of specific kinds of lead magnets that you create. Okay. All right. So one, counterintuitive here, you do need some form of catch-all evergreen lead magnet. You got to have something that is general, because there are pages on your site where there's not really a specific reasons they could be there. One of the most common ones is your about page. Like, your about page is your story. It's about what you do. It's kind of a mini sales page that's kind of selling yourself and like why you have the right to talk about your topic or the right to create products for your topic. So sometimes they're very general. They cover a lot of topics, and there's not really like a good thing to kind of put there. So you can kind of assume that the people there are a general audience. You don't exactly know where they are, and you need something like sort of general there for them to kind of take advantage of. One thing that we do a lot of generally is a free trial. Like, we'll say, hey, check the free trial out. Maybe you can check that out. You can also do like a general, like, deep dive into what you do, right? Like our story. A lot of people will write a book and they'll use that as a lead magnet on general pages. Like, hey, look, here's the nutshell version of my story. Opt in. I'll give you a free copy of our book. All you do is cover shipping, and I'll give you the audio book instant access. So if you really like our story, that's a good general opt-in that you can do. You just tell your story over and over again. Okay. A lot of people use what is a case study manual. This is a great general opt-in. It's something we've been working on to get together and put together, is like, go through case studies. Like, I got 5 case studies of people who started, built, grew their online business, quit their job, and flipped their life, right? I could create this case study thing. And then your case study has like 5 examples of different segments. Like, you got one person that had no idea and they did it. You had a person that had a product and you helped them grow. You had another person that did X or Y or Z, right? Like, you create like a case study for each segment in your avatar's world, and you have a case study for each of them. So then it's like, cover page, what do I want? Oh, I'll go flip to this one. That's me, right? So you give them something to relate to. So one, you do need a general opt-in that you can use on pages where specific opt-ins don't matter or exist, like in your sidebar on every page of your site. Okay. The second kind of opt-in you need specific opt-ins for the top 5 pages on your site. So if you went into your analytics right now and you said, what are the top 5 pages that people visit on my site? And listen, don't complain to me about traffic. I don't care if you got 1,000 people a day going to a page or if it's 5 people. You go find the pages on your site where the 5 pages where the most people go. That's going to produce a lot of your traffic in the long run. You need to evaluate that every single month. What are the top 5 pages on my site with organic traffic last month? Or where am I driving the most traffic to? But the 5 top pages on your site all need a specific opt-in that is geared toward that. And that can seed your categories later for new posts that you create. So if you don't do anything else today, you should go into your back end and you should say, okay, I'm going to look at my website and I'm going to see what my top 5 pages are. I'm going to spend the next week making lead magnets for every one of those pages. I'm going to put the lead magnet at the top of the post, the middle of the post, the bottom of the post, and in the sidebar on that page. And I'm going to make sure that the most trafficked pages on my site have some way for someone to opt in that's related to that. Because here's the deal. Why are they coming to that page? They want content about that topic. Make a lead magnet for it. So the top 5 pages on your site, every month evaluate it. Every month say, we need to go in and we need to put an opt-in on that page. Okay. So we got a general opt-in, specific opt-ins that you need to create for the top 5 pages on your site, and that needs to be looked at every single month. And then we have our what we call our out in public opt-ins. These are like opt-ins that we do on the fly, opt-ins where we have an opportunity to do something to a new audience, to someone who doesn't know about us. We need out in public opt-in. So our number one is free trials. Like it's easy for us to bend. That's what's so great about a membership site. Our membership site has like tons of courses. So if I go on a podcast and they talk to me about, well, how do you and Jocelyn work so well together or not work so well together or bring out the best in each other? How do you, a married couple? Like we were on a marriage podcast one time and they say, well, you know, a lot of people would dread working with their spouse all the time. You guys are together 24 hours a day, it seems like. How do you work together and do that? Well, we have a course, you know, how to work with your spouse without killing each other inside of the Flip Your Life community. So what I would do is I would say, hey, I've got this general opt-in. It's a free trial, 30 days. And we have a course about this. So if you want to go deeper and learn more about this topic, you can go in and you can check that out. I can do the same thing with sales funnels or anything else. But sometimes I'll go on a podcast and we won't have a course about anything. So I'll need to create it. So Michael Stelzner of the Social Media Examiner podcast, he's the founder of Social Media Marketing World, which is the biggest online entrepreneur conference in the world, pretty much. He invited me onto his podcast to talk about an ad strategy that I had mentioned on Pat Flynn's podcast the second time that we were on the show. And what we did was we basically said, he said, we have Google ads that drive traffic to pages, and then we follow up on Facebook. So we follow up in social. We don't usually create cold ads in Facebook. We create cold ads in search. Okay. So that's kind of our little twist on advertising. And he asked me about that, and he was like, dude, could you make a course for my audience about this? And I was like, sure. So I actually recorded a course and created a PowerPoint before I was on his show, and I pitched that specific thing that gets opt-ins every single day because people find that episode all the time. So I had to create an out in the wild new opt-in, new course. I put it in the community, though. It's in there if you want to go look at it. And that's in the advertising stuff. But now I've got an opt-in for that. So if I ever talk about that again on a show, I can use that same opt-in over and over. So you need things that are outside of your existing content that you use in other people's places. Okay. All right. So lead magnets, I can't stress enough how much is a big deal. Like, go back and listen to this 2 or 3 times. If you're struggling getting leads, if you're getting traffic and you're like, man, people are coming, they're just not opting in. Like, it's your lead magnet. You got a problem with the headline that sells your lead magnet. You got a problem with positioning on your page. It's not prominent enough. You can't see it good enough. You can't read it. It's not standing out. Your opt-in buttons need to be a different color than every other button on your page, right? You have to have a link color that people know they know to click, and then get those opt-ins. Because like, the list is where the money is, guys. The fortune is in the follow-up. And if we can never, I know people, I've had people come to me. I had a guy come to me once, and he had like 400,000 followers on Facebook. And when he posted, they listened. He would get like 30,000, 40,000 reach a day. The dude was only making a couple $100 a month, right? And I told him, I was like, bro, the reason you're making no money is because you don't have an opt-in strategy. You just have a following. We have got to come up with a strategy to get those people on your list. So you've heard me talk about this guy before. His name's Evan Burst. So we created one of his top posts were always how to draw female forms, like female superheroes. He's like, those are always my biggest posts. So we made a mini course on how to draw a female superhero, right? And it was just the sketch outline of it. And all of a sudden, his list exploded. He had tons of people to follow up with, and he was able to sell his drawing course, but he had no lead magnet strategy. He had a huge amount of attention, but he wasn't funneling them into his contact list where he could actually sell them something. I don't care how many Instagram followers you have. I don't care how many Facebook followers you have. I don't care how many YouTube followers you have. All I care about is your list. How big is your list? How active is your list? And what are you doing to sell to your list on a daily basis? That's what really drives online business. But your list doesn't happen without great lead magnets. Okay. All right. So I've got a bunch of questions here, it looks like. If you have any questions about your lead magnets, specifically your lead magnet strategies, maybe they're too long, maybe they're too short, whatever. I got a few minutes here to answer some questions. Go back and watch this again 2 or 3 times, and then evaluate your lead magnet strategy, and we'll get that call to action. So let me scroll down here. I saw a couple question marks swing by on the chat. All right, so JJ Mayo says, I know you've mentioned the thank you page. What are the key parts of the thank you page? Okay. Here's the key part of a thank you page designed to deliver a lead magnet, okay? Number 1, they've got to know they're in the right place. So what I like to do is when I have, let's say I have something in my sidebar, okay? And I have a picture that goes with my headline for my lead magnet. When they opt in, I want 2 things to happen. I want to send them an email to the delivery page, which is the thank you page for opting in. And I want them to also go directly to it. I actually just send people to it now, and I send them an email, right? So I send them to the thing, and I say, well, here's what the thank you page does. It says, it doesn't deliver the thing. It says, thank you for opting in. You just got an email. You need to go check that and open it so that you can get your actual thing. Thank you so much. Until then, and I draw a line, and I start a sales page for the Flip Your Life community, and I try to guess what's next. So like if someone opts in for like an avatar course or training or opt in, then I know the next thing they need is a product. Hey, I just sent you the opt-in for my avatar training. But guess what? We also have a course about the product. Once you figure out your avatar, you're going to need a course about making your own product. It's inside the Flip Your Life community. Here's why you should join the Flip Your Life community. And it's a sales page. When they go to their inbox and they click on that email to go to the delivery page, here is the thing you opted in for. Line. Here's a sales page for the next thing you need, right? So the most important parts of your thank you page are 1, redirect them to their inbox to make sure that they open it and see it. And 2, sell something. Sell something right there. They may never go to their inbox. They may forget about the lead magnet, but at least you had a sales page there waiting for them. Okay. So get the opt-in thank you page. That says, friend, I've emailed you your thing. The email clicks a link that goes to the delivery page. The delivery page and the thank you page should both have sales copy telling them their next step, explaining why they should want it, and then giving them a buy button to buy something next. Okay. All right. Dan Ratner, is pitch on opt-in page or page after they opt in? Both. So the thank you page is the page they go after they opt in. That's instructions to go check their email. I have sales copy on that page too. The thank you page is where then there's the delivery page where they get their opt-in. They click that from the email that you send them. That also has sales copy. Sell them both. You never know. That might be the only chance you've got to sell them something. So you got to take advantage of that. Like our best opt-ins, we have 79% open rate or something like that on our first email, but it drops like to 50-something% like the second email really fast. Okay. So like they may never see anything else again. I know they're going to land on that thank you page, Dan. I know it. So that thank you page for the opt-in has to sell something. All right. Dan also says, bourbon chicken. Okay. Oleg says, so what I'm hearing is that you can pitch your product community at the bottom of your about page. Sure. I think I've seen that somewhere before. Yes. That sounds like Oleg joined from our about page. Okay. All right. JJ Mayo says, thanks. Planning to try a video instead of a text-based thank you page. Okay, let me comment on that. Actually, I had a note over here to the side, and I want to make sure that I talk about that. Okay, another tip is, this is something new that I'm trying, and I've kind of just developed this, and I've seen a little success from it. Like, you need content. You don't only need content-specific emails, like the what the content's about. Like if you're selling something about football coaches, and it needs to be like I said earlier, a linebacker coach needs a linebacker opt-in, right? Okay. You also need to be type specific. This is something I just hit me like recently. I'm like, man, if someone opts in from YouTube, they like videos. If I'm sending them to a text-based opt-in, they're not going to care. Like I need to send them to a video page, right? Same thing. If someone opts in from a long blog post, they probably like to read. So if you have a video course as an opt-in on that page, they don't care. They're not going to opt in for it. Right? What they would do is maybe a continuation to let them read more, right? So maybe you got a special article that's only available to email subscribers, okay, that they can read. If people are opting in because they came to you through your podcast, this has just hit me the other day. I'm like, this is stupid. They may want to download an audio book or an audio course. They like to listen to things, okay? So this is like another layer deep that you can go on your lead magnets, right? Like you could say, hey, not only like, okay, I have a video about linebackers and this guy watched it and he clicked the link in the description and he opted in. I need to have a video for him to watch drills. So maybe I have one drill on YouTube that says the best linebacker drill you can use, or the best quarterback drill. Let's go that. The best quarterback drills. The number one quarterback drill. So he goes and watches that video. He finds it in search. He's looking for this. And then I have a thing in my description that says, hey guys, click the link below and I'll give you a video of my 5 top quarterback drills. He's going to go watch it. So also think about like what type of content people are consuming. That's what kind of content you need to deliver. Okay. So audio and video can kind of go together, but this is something that just hit me. Jocelyn and I are working on some books and some different things that we want to try on Kindle and on some other places. But like, man, when people opt in, if they're listening to our podcast and they go to opt in for something, we need to give them more audio content. Intuitively, I did this in the community because there's an audio version inside of the community of every course. But like, I never thought about this until just recently. Like, man, if someone finds us on YouTube, they're watching videos. We need to give them videos. Like, we don't need to give them a infographic. We don't need to give them a text ebook. Like, we need to give them something that's related to the kind of content they clearly are enjoying consuming, so that they'll go consume more of it. So it's not just about aligning the subject matter. You need to align the type as well. Like if you're a blogger and you write like crazy, like you need to write out and give people written style stuff. If you're a YouTuber, you need to give them videos, right? Because that's how they're finding you in the first place. So they clearly like to do videos. Okay. All right. Let me see if I missed any questions. Anybody got any more questions right now? Let's see. Put a link in the bio. Thank you, Paige. Got it. Letting on now. Let's see. Shane, how do you determine what to give away and what is paid material? Should lead magnets be something unique and new? No, it doesn't matter. Hey, listen. You can always pull a part of your courses out. Do you think that we have never given away I was just on a thing the other day, and we were going on a podcast, and I was like, oh, this course would be a great lead magnet for this. And I just took the course out of the community, completely separated. I made an opt-in page for it, and that's what we gave away on the podcast, right? Because people don't pay for your content. They pay for your leadership. They pay for you curating the content in an organized step-by-step way and then coaching them through it, right? And helping them solve it. So you can use I could literally take every single course out of the Flip Your Life Blueprint, separate them out into 50 or 60 opt-ins. I should probably do that. And then I could use those in different places when we went places, because the content itself is not valuable without the plan, right? The plan is what's inside the community. And the plan is not valuable without someone to help you go through the plan, like me and Jocelyn, right? Or the other members of the Flip Your Life community. So no, you can give away anything. That goes back to that tip I gave you earlier. So it doesn't matter what your opt-in is. You just want the opt-in, right? You can use anything to get the opt-in. Like if your best way to get someone in is to give them one of your courses and then sell them the other 10 in order, then do that. Like, no, it does not matter. They don't have to be free. Like a lot of times too, take that thing I just told you a minute ago about the course that I made for Michael Stelzner about Google ads and Facebook ads. I made that as an opt-in, but once I did it, I was like, wow, this would fit in really good in our advertising course where we talk about paid ads. So I just stuck it in the community, because you would have never, if you don't listen to his podcast, you would never even known that course was there. It's my job to put it in a place where you will eventually run into it, right? So that content can be put in. You can move content in and out. One of our courses is actually a podcast. Like we had a podcast that we did. I can't remember which one it is. It might be the course about the spouses, actually. We took a podcast and we're like, this would make a great course. So we paid someone to make a PowerPoint for it and then align it with the audio and the PowerPoint slides. And then we turned that into a course, because we're like, man, what if someone wasn't listening back on episode 6? This is some of our best content we've ever done. We've got to curate this. We've got to put this it's the third course you take in the Flip Your Life Blueprint if you do it in order. Like my job is to make sure you don't miss content you need, right? It's not to put nothing. Content wants to be free anyway. There's nothing you can do about it. Anyone could log in and take all your courses and put them free. And I hate to tell everyone this, but you are not a unique snowflake. Someone somewhere has talked about everything you could ever charge for, right? But that's not what people pay for. Every piece of information that has ever been thought in human history is free on Wikipedia probably right now, right? But that people don't want to sort through it. They don't want to go through it. They don't want to spend a year of their life if someone could just show them the 5 things they need to do it in a month. That's where you come in. That's where your content comes in. That's where your courses come in. So nothing in your community, nothing in your content should be free or paid. It's content, right? The paid stuff is the stuff you have curated in order, the step-by-step plan that people need to do so that they can get there faster, right? That's what people pay for. Save me time, make me money. Nobody else buys anything else, okay? Save me time, make me money, or make me feel good. That's it, okay? All right, so anything can be a lead magnet. Don't get caught up with what your lead magnet is. It doesn't matter. All you're worried about is be much more worried about the headline and the imagery and the opt-in being clear so that people will sign in, okay? All right, let's see. Jennifer Dixon says, so if they are paying for your leadership, how do you establish that as a newbie? Jennifer Dixon, just because you're a newbie presenting yourself to the world doesn't mean you're a newbie. You've been teaching yoga for years. You have a real following in the real world of people who come to your real yoga studio. You are the farthest thing from a newbie that could ever be a newbie, right? If you know your topic, guys, you are not a newbie. You're new at online business. You're not new at your subject matter, okay? So all you have to do is demonstrate your expertise, demonstrate your ability, demonstrate your knowledge, talk about yourself, brag on yourself. Everybody gets mad because people share these like numbers and stuff. And like, we don't get deep into like numbers and stuff, but by God, I will always tell everybody I sold a business for over $1 million. And I will tell anybody that wants to hear it that I've sold so many memberships and so many courses that we have made multiple millions of dollars in the past 6 years of online business. You know why? Because you need to hear that. And I'm not bragging about it, but if I want to be a thought leader and I want to be a leader in this space, I have to prove expertise. You think we don't tell people that we have like over like 1,000 success stories inside of the Flip Your Life community, inside of our forums? Do you think we don't tell people that we have answered like thousands of questions? Like, we have to demonstrate expertise. So you have to demonstrate, I know yoga, period. Here's why, X, Y, Z. I'm not bragging about myself. I'm telling you so that you can trust me. Hey, you know what? Here's 20 testimonials. You go follow up and you ask them about how good of a yoga studio I run. I am not a newbie. I'm a pro. In fact, I know more than all of those 21-year-old Instagram models doing yoga on a cliff that you think you're following on YouTube, and they don't know crap. They took a class last week and they just became the person they think they're the expert for whatever, because they're sitting on an ocean side. No, I'm the expert. I teach people every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday nights. I have a place where I need to go. I've done this. I've seen the results. You want results, you come to me. I'm not a newbie. I just don't know how to set up WordPress. But by God, I'm going to figure it out. And I'm a WordPress expert now. And now I'm going to show you how big an expert of yoga I am. That's how you got to be, Jennifer Dixon. That's how you got to be. So you are not a newbie. Okay. All right. Demonstrate it. Brag about yourself. Tell them how good you are, and let other people tell them how good you are, and you will not be a newbie anymore. Okay. You will not be seen as a newbie. You only feel like a newbie, but you're not a newbie. Everybody's like that too. If you are starting an online business like JJ Mayo does keto stuff, you're an expert. I know you are. I know your background, whatever. Like, you need to be, got to tell people how big I'm a PhD in this, that, and the other. I've helped so many people. I've written this many papers. I've done this. I've done that. I've done the other. You're the expert. Just because you've never put yourself out there before doesn't make you not an expert. Everybody put them out. Gary Vaynerchuk put himself on a stage for the first time sometime, right? There's a video actually of John Lee Dumas, the first time he ever like asked a question or talked to someone at a conference. Like, he was no expert then. John Lee Dumas started interviewing Pat Flynn, same thing. He was not an expert until he had about 100 episodes of his podcast. Go listen to his first 30 episodes. He didn't know what he's doing, right? But he learned and he presented himself, and he's like, hey, I sold this ebook and it made $9 grand. Anyone who's never not done that, I'm an expert, right? Same thing with me and Jocelyn. Like, we weren't experts until we launched 3 different businesses that made 6 figures or more online. Like, then we became experts. Now it's just about telling people about that. So everybody here should look at themselves in the mirror and say, I am worthy of teaching what I'm about to teach. I know more than other people do about this. And I'm not going to look for validation anywhere else. Just because I don't know how to do WordPress, that doesn't make you, or just because you don't know how to set it all up, or just because you haven't got that online following yet, like, you're still an expert in your field, right? I know people who are immensely more qualified in their field than I am, won't start online business because they're nervous about it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, if you don't know how to change a flat tire, you can teach anyone who doesn't know how to, or if you know how to change a flat tire, you can teach anyone how to change a flat tire without being a licensed mechanic. Right? So you're an expert at that. So do it. Okay. All right. Off my soapbox. Sorry. All right. Jennifer's follow up. No, that's it. If it's not the content, the media yoga training, how do I convince them that I'm worth following? You show them, you make content, and you prove it. All right. JJ Mayo. Yep. It's the confidence factor. If you don't have it, people will see through it. Own it. That's right. That's right, JJ. You've been sitting around too long. All right. Laura too. All right, guys. All right. It's 12:48. Great talk today about lead magnets. You got any more questions? Go into the forums. Check those out. You're already logged in here. Everybody, I want everybody right now to go post something in the forums, right? I want you to go post an action plan right now. Don't log off. You're in the community right now watching this video, talking in the chat. Click over, and I want you to ask a question that you've been struggling with inside of your business right now. Start some conversation. I want you to go post an action plan. Every single person here should go to the action plan forum and say, I'm going to find the top 5 posts on my website right now, and I'm going to come up with lead magnets for all of them that are specific to those posts. Everybody should do that, and I want everybody here to post a success story. Go into the success forum right now and post a success story and tell people what's going good so that we can celebrate that. And then go and build those lead magnets this week. That's your homework. Go build a couple new lead magnets. Make sure you're getting those opt-ins, because opt-ins are the lifeblood of your business. And if you take your eye off that ball, you will fumble it. Okay. All right, guys. I'm heading to see The Lion King. I'm going to go cry when Mufasa dies. And Hakuna Matata, Kathy, Hakuna Matata, everybody today. I'll see you in the forums. I'm going to check those posts when I come back. I see all your names over here on this sidebar. Y'all better be in the Flip Your Life community posting today, taking advantage of the community. And we are going to be seeing you live very soon. We are getting so close to Flip Your Life Live, guys. Hope you had a great time today. I'll see you next week. Check on this page by, I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to San Diego this week on Thursday. I don't know what day I come back next week, but I always take a day or two off after every trip. So we may skip next week. I'm not saying for sure. I'm going to try and look at my calendar. I know we've got a lot going on with travel. So let me, I'll get back to you. Keep an eye on this page and keep an eye out in your inbox. Sometime it will definitely not be for sure on Monday or Tuesday, because I don't think we come back until Tuesday. And then I'm probably going to take Wednesday or Thursday completely off. I don't like to work the day after I travel. So it'll probably be later in the week, if at all. If not, I'll push it maybe to Sunday or Monday, and we'll just go with it. All right. Got a couple more courses, icebreaker sessions coming up. Flip your lead magnets. Flip your life. Talk to you later. Bye. Oh, one more thing. You guys got to listen to episode 300 of the podcast. Josh and I recorded it before I did this. That's why I'm so hyped right now. This might be our best podcast ever. I'm not kidding. Like, we go deep into guys like mental health and talking about our business. We actually sat and interviewed each other like we do you guys. So like Jocelyn looked at me and said, Shane, what's your biggest internal fear holding you back right now? And then I looked back at her and I said, like, what's your biggest external obstacle keeping you from going to the next level, Jocelyn? And like, Jocelyn, what's the biggest business problem you're stuck with right now? Shane, what's the big? And we actually talked just like we interview each other, or just like we interview you guys when you come on the show. We interviewed each other this way, and it's awesome. Like, I'm really proud of this episode. That comes out next Tuesday. Mark your calendar, episode 300. Listen to it, share it everywhere, send it to 27 people. It's going to help some people. I know it is, because Jocelyn and I, we really talked about some vulnerable things that you do not hear other people really talk about on business podcasts. So it's going to be awesome. Check that out next Tuesday. I'm really gone this time. Later.